has one of the most forgettable marketing titles in recent years. I had to Google it every time I tried to think of it prior to launch.
Dude, Horizon Zero Dawn was one of the most hyped games of 2017, so you're going to send the game for your forgetfulness? Look, I'm all for jokes, but this wasn't even funny, so here's a sin.
Wear this. It belonged to my daughter.
They couldn't wait one scene before they front-loaded Ross with a tragic backstory.
And how in any way is this a sin of the game? Oh, well, you're not going to explain? Okay, well, explain this.
Today, I speak your name, girl. Normally, it would be the mother who declares, if you had one.
And they don't even wait for Aloy to be old enough to talk before she gets some front-loaded family baggage as well.
We are outcasts. Even so, we keep the tribe's rituals. Otherwise, we might become like the faithless old ones, who turned their backs on the goddess.
Exposition is still exposition, even when it looks this pretty.
Bad sins are bad sins, even when you have 300,000+ subscribers. I will never understand why exposition is looked at as a bad thing. It's giving you vital information for the story.
This is a great shot, but if I were carrying an infant, I would go around rather than walk through a field of robots that might kill me at any moment.
And so starts the list of sins that completely misrepresent this game. Nowhere in this scene does it show Ross going through the field of robots. Where did you get that from? Had you shown the entire scene for context, your viewers would know that they're clearly on the outside perimeter of the robots, and he's showing Aloy the world that she's been thrust into.
It is one thing to hunt a beast, another to hunt a machine. I will teach you this. One day.
One provides food that keeps you alive, the other doesn't and comes equipped with ranged weaponry.
What even is this sin? You literally just pointed something out and dinged it. You know what? Here's 20 cents for making me work this hard through the first minute and 15 seconds of your video.
Speak her name!
Aloy!
From this day forward, your name will remind people of hand lotion.
Like I said, I love jokes, but this isn't funny. Yet another sad attempt to pad the sin count.
You padding the sin count, bro?
I'm here. And wherever you go, I will follow.
And with that line, Ross places his death flag on the flagpole for its first act journey to the top.
So you're saying you knew Ross was going to die? Yeah, I don't know about that one, buddy. But even if you did, how was that a sin, you all might ask? I don't know. When you figure it out, let me know.
Both Aloy and Ross are outcasts, people shunned by the Nora tribe and forced to live in the wild. However, no one will ever tell Aloy why she was born an outcast, and there is really no reason to withhold the truth. They just do it to be dicks.
What? No one will ever tell Aloy why she's an outcast? Dude, the whole premise of the game is based off of her unnatural birth and how that led to her being an outcast. Tirsa clearly explains this to her. You're just making stuff up.
Get used to this blue lead-lit cave now, because you will be seeing a lot of it later.
And how in the world is that a sin? Jesus, man.
The focus on this corpse still works perfectly after 1,000 years. This technology comes from the year 2060, so in just a few decades we will have unlimited energy according to this game.
Okay, and are you going to explain to us why the focus device shouldn't work? Gaia clearly explains to Aloy that she wanted her to obtain one of these devices, so the devices were clearly made to last a long time.
Look, Surrogate Father, it's the next Assassin's Creed main character in training.
Look guys, another joke that wasn't funny to pad the sin count.
Its hide is thick, but there are spots where it is vulnerable.
Rather than hunting robots for scrap metal that you can't even trade since you're an outcast, how about hunting something you can actually eat?
You are aware that they can craft machine parts into weapons, right? And telling them that they should rather hunt for food is like telling me I should breathe. Obviously, you idiot.
The people of the past lost a war against machines and they were using modern weapons, yet Aloy can take down robot dinosaurs with a 40-pound bow.
See guys, I love this channel. I find it very entertaining actually. But it's stuff like this that gave me the urge to send this video. He clearly does not understand this game at all. The old one's world was destroyed because the machines were actively trying to destroy the world. Plus, these aren't even the same machines that destroy the world. These machines were created by Gaia and put here to terraform the earth and to also coexist with the humans. That was until the derangement. Being wrong isn't funny. Pay attention.
How do you know to avoid them? How are you doing this? How is this possible?
Teb is amazed by Aloy's ability to hide in bushes and move when watchers are looking the other way.
I would argue that Teb isn't a warrior, but you really can't defend that, so yeah, this is pretty stupid.
The Proving. The tribe's rite of passage held every year. Those who pass become braves. But to the one who wins,
The matriarchs grant a boon.
But why would the tribe even allow an outcast to participate in the proving? People from the tribe are not even allowed to speak or trade with outcasts. It seems like a massive loophole in the tribal law.
Okay, well, yeah. That didn't really make any sense to me either.
Looks like the guy who paints climbable ledges with white paint is still around 1,000 years in the future, and he's switched to using yellow rope. Though I have to wonder why he's not dangling the rope down so you can climb up that instead of tying it to the struts. His hand moves in mysterious ways.
And you, sir, point things out on the screen in mysterious ways.
For your sake, I must go where you will never find me.
And yet, Ross will show up later at the perfect moment to save Aloy with no explanation as how he knew to come back.
You don't need an explanation. It's called being a loving father.
Nora Faithful, hold your fruit. Now I'm Azaram, not Karja, so I'll put it to you straight. The 13th Sun King was a murderous bung. Oh, he was. Who killed him? The 14th.
Aaron wins over the angry mob of Nora by agreeing with him that the old Sun King was a dick and telling them that his son is like the coolest Sun King ever.
Pointing things out on the screen and sending them as if they're sinful is sinful.
You'll be the one surprised tomorrow, outcast. Not me.
Oh, are you gonna shut your mouth? Because that would be a surprise.
There's that famous Ashley Birch voice acting. Feels like I'm playing Life is Strange all over again.
Sending something you like? Sending something you like, cliche.
Hi, I'll be your soon-to-be dead new friend, so better get what development that I can so someone somewhere can have a feel over my death.
You know, if I send all the stupidity like this in this video, we'd be here for like 2 hours. So here's an extra 15 sends for all the ones I don't feel like doing.
So after years of training in order to win the proving, the super difficult rite of passage that Nora Braves undergo, it turns out to be simply shooting one robot deer then running along a short mountain pass to a finish line. The only thing that makes this even remotely difficult is the examiners trying to sabotage Aloy.
So running along a icy, cold, snowy, wet, slippery mountain is easy, not to mention the climbing that they had to do. Okay, well, let me see you do it.
But it is Aloy, once outcast and now brave, who is first among you.
Shocking and sudden death is shocking and sudden, but I'm more curious how the examiner didn't see the cultist standing on the hill behind Aloy. She was looking in that direction after all.
Well, she was looking at Aloy and the other Braves, not the mountains behind them. Also, it is pretty snowy out there, so it's kind of hard to see.
Red hair dies now! Everyone, forward!
Aloy is your target. You should have focused on her since the attack started. Instead, you killed everyone else. You even gave away the element of surprise by shooting the examiner first, and Aloy was standing in front of the examiner.
Listen to what you just said. Aloy was standing in front of the examiner, so they clearly just missed their mark.
I'm going to save your life by tossing you over the cliff that the cult leader was about to throw you over before I stopped him.
Okay, and what do you suggest that Ross does in this life and death situation? Have her lay there and get blown up too?
All of the attackers were wearing focuses like Aloy and Olin's, and they learned about Aloy because Olin is working with him and they could see her through his focus. And then for some reason, the focus Aloy took off an attacker starts playing a hologram from over 1,000 years ago that no cultist would have access to, and the person in that hologram looks suspiciously like Aloy. This is the game being a bit too convenient with a lot of information, just to set Aloy on the right path to find out who attacked them and who this woman who looks just like her is.
They wouldn't have access to it? How? Why? Because you said they shouldn't? This hologram was obviously given to them by Hades, who most definitely would have access to it. Look at this picture, dude. This is Hades giving them the side-by-side hologram, issuing the kill order. The focus device is basically an iPhone that you can wear on your head. And as far as the hologram just starting to play, Aloy has had one of these for like 13 years now. She would know this device inside and out. She clearly searches the device and finds these pieces of information. But of course you didn't show that part.
What can you show me?
Target imaging attached. Do not fail.
Target imaging.
This sets Aloy on the right path because she searches through the device, not because anything convenient happened. 5 sins for manipulating this scene.
Does my mother look like me, but with short hair?
I don't see how that could be. You were not born of a woman, Aloy. The mountain is your mother.
Virgin birth cliche.
But how is this a cliche? How?
Were you not listening? It didn't recognize me.
Because of corruption. The goddess's own words. Surely, if you heal this corruption, she will see you clearly.
Without any idea what DNA or even data corruption is, Aloy should have zero chance to ever finding a way to open this door to where she was born.
You clearly do not understand what a focus device is and what it's capable of. It's the future version of a smartphone, my dude.
The killers do not fight alone. Somehow they have a power over the machines, corrupting them, driving them mad.
And yet they didn't attack the Proving using any of their enslaved machines.
Helis clearly wanted them to do it silently. Those are literally his words.
All commanders, halt excavations and proceed at once to the mission point. Avoid all contact with Nora savages. Avoid all contact with Nora savages. Avoid all contact.
Please do tell, what about a corrupted machine is silent?
I also didn't expect to be making another Studio Ghibli movie scene in this video, but when you rip off the curse from Princess Mononoke, you kinda forced my hand. Other than the color, these corruption tendrils are the exact same thing.
Okay.
It may be a robot giraffe with a radar dish for a head, but it's still a radio tower that reveals the map once you climb it.
And you're not going to tell your audience how this is a sin?
Why would a robot ever growl?
Because they are designed after animals? What sound should it make?
Ha! I doubt that Aaron, the new captain of the Vanguard, a man in grief, is going to waste his time on a grimy outlander.
Aloy!
With the words of power spoken, Aaron then appears to prove that the power of convenience trumps logic.
Man, these sins are just bad. How does someone appearing when you need them to not logical? Okay, well I guess every time someone goes to the ER and a doctor appears, I guess that's not logical either.
I heard what happened to Ursa. I'm sorry.
You'll find that the majority of characters in this game have a recently dead friend or family member that they bring up in conversations. Often that's the focus of their mission.
Another sin that's not actually a sin. Sinning something that's not sinful is, well, sinful.
Is there any reason for Olin to have a huge hole in his ceiling right over his hidden cellar door, and have a pallet of iron right next to the hole that can smash through his otherwise unbreakable hatch?
Is there any reason why this is a sin other than you asking a question that obviously has an answer?
A map. The glyphs show places he visited.
Has Olin never heard of a paper map in ink? That's a huge wooden map with nails the size of railroad spikes marking dig sites. That would have taken some effort.
Oh my goodness. What in the world is this sin? You guys see what I'm talking about? This guy is literally pointing things out on the screen. Dang.
I checked Ursa's tomb. You were right, Aloy. The body is missing a scar below her right knee. I gave it to Ursa when we were kids, fighting over a toy sword.
Unless you tried to kneecap your sister when you were kids, I'm at a loss as to how you gave her a scar there.
My guy, what? The fact that you thought of this sin, didn't realize how ridiculous it was, and kept the sin in your video is worth these many sins.
Ursa survived just long enough to warn them that Dervahl is going to attack Meridian. Why did Dervahl even kidnap Aaron's sister if he was going to destroy Meridian and take his vengeance then? It's not as if she was vital to his plan.
And, well, questions have answers. Aloy's conversation with King Avad answered this. Dervahl was just jealous that she chose Avad over him. Plain and simple. People have killed over much less.
Well, that was a profound waste of time that should have been a side quest.
Well, it did develop a strong relationship with Aaron, and yes, strong relationships are important, especially in a game like this. Also, you developed an alliance with the Sun King Avad, and by extension, the Sundom. And the Vanguard does fight alongside you at the end of the game, so no, it was not a waste of time.
Forgive this intrusion, Aloy. You left me no choice.
Who is this?
An interested party. Now their focuses are disabled, but I don't know for how long.
I wish devs would give up trying to trick everyone into not suspecting Lance Reddick of being a villain no matter how much assistance he offers. Guy is always going to be Black Willem Dafoe.
Okay, but this game does not try to trick us into thinking that. He's pretty mean to Aloy and dismissive of all her concerns. He even risks her life by not telling her that Hades was going to be somewhere that he told her to go. Silence straight up admits that all he cares about is knowledge. And also, that's racist.
Their devil is real. It has a name, a voice, the most terrible voice, and they do its bidding.
You say this devil, the Eclipse worship, has a name?
Hades. That's what they call it.
It would appear that every major religion that existed prior to the end of civilization died out, but Greek mythology is still going strong.
I wonder why. Maybe because Hades was a subordinate function of Gaia? Just a thought.
The genetic registry is still corrupted. That's why the door back of the mountain wouldn't open for Aloy. Yet this one does, despite the holographic still showing a corrupted registry.
Look guys, I said a couple times now that I love jokes, but scenes like these are actual criticisms of the game. I was actually confused by this too, but unlike you, I did my research. Her DNA being 99.47% is not the corruption. The Alpha registry was corrupted, not her DNA. The door back at Allmother required an Alpha level clearance, and when Hades put a virus in the system, that Alpha clearance was damaged. Gaia actually points this out later when Aloy goes back to Allmother. This door does not require an Alpha level clearance, plain and simple. Being wrong isn't funny.
We've created this huge and beautiful open world for our game to take place in that's full of robot dinosaurs to fight. Let's stick the player in one empty cave after another and have them listen to audio logs and watch holograms for the last act of the game.
Dude, these audio logs and holograms provide context for this game's plot. But I'm not surprised. This entire video proves that you would rather make lame jokes than actually focus on understanding the story.
Also, how would they not already know who built the Pharaoh robots? They all have the Pharaoh Industries logo right there on them.
Yeah. I have to agree.
Elizabeth told Ted Faro she was headed for a place called U.S. Robot Command to tell people about Zero Dawn.
The place still exists.
I'm sure there'll be another batch of holo recordings there that will fill in the plot with another huge info dump.
So you're sending the game for providing you with context? Got it.
This is the second time I fought a Deathbringer, and they do not live up to their name. These are the same robots that wiped out every advanced human army and destroyed the biosphere 1,000 years ago, yet Aloy can take them down with a bow.
First of all, take it off normal difficulty and it wouldn't be so easy. And also, you once again don't understand the story. The Horus machines were replicating every machine at a speed faster than they could kill them. And also,
Aloy just destroyed the entire Focus network, so how is Silence continuing to contact her through it? The whole point was to stop people from doing exactly that.
Because Silence is a hacker? Come on, dude.
The Alpha Registry master file.
Intact?
Yeah. No signs of corruption.
Somehow I doubt that you're knowledgeable enough about file systems to know what this is at a glance.
All these shapes. What do they mean?
Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man.
You didn't start watching Aloy's Focus until Hades became aware of her, which was at the proving. That line was from an Aloy found her Focus and watched a holo recording of a birthday party.
Yeah, but that hologram came from a Focus device that you can clearly see on the body. That hologram did not come from Aloy's Focus. And Silence has said that he's an explorer of ruins, so it's reasonable to conclude that he'd been out there before. So no, this is not a sin.
Should you need to return to Shadow Carja territory, I brought armor to conceal your identity.
You had a disguise this entire time that would let Aloy walk around the Citadel unnoticed? Then why did you have her crash the Focus network so they wouldn't recognize her?
Because a Focus could clearly see right through a physical disguise? That's literally the dumbest question you've asked.
Elizabeth, this message serves to inform you of an unforeseen and catastrophic anomaly.
You made this message for Aloy, Elizabeth's clone that you created. Since you gave her to the tribe to raise, she would not share Elizabeth's name. Specifically addressing Elizabeth would only add confusion to a very important message.
So are you suggesting that Gaia should have known the exact name that her physical caretakers would have given her? Calling her Elizabeth is clearly the most logical thing to do, as she is Elizabeth's clone.
3 microseconds ago, the Gaia Prime facility received a data transmission of unknown origin. Its immediate effect was to transform my subordinate functions into unregulated, self-aware entities of a highly chaotic nature.
In other words, we are setting things up for the sequel.
In other words, this is a very stupid and irrelevant sin.
Thus awakened, the Hades function will now seize control of the terraforming system and reverse operations, rendering life on Earth extinct in 53.8 days.
Whoever turned Gaia's subordinate functions into self-aware AI didn't plan this through very well, since Hades' only function is to reset the world back to zero if Gaia's first stab at terraforming doesn't take. Now that he's unregulated, he's trying to destroy the biosphere, even though the planet is perfectly habitable again.
Okay, but you're saying that without knowing who or what did it. Maybe they wanted it this way. Just look at Thanos.
The fate of life on Earth will remain in peril. With no central governing intelligence to regulate the terraforming system, it will continue operations for some time, but in an increasingly chaotic manner, and eventually it will break down.
But isn't the planet already successfully terraformed? Why does terraforming need to continue any further?
Maybe to help and maintain the upkeep of the Earth? I don't know. Just a thought.
My creator. While high-level directives forbid me from communicating directly to the tribal inhabitants outside the facility, all available data indicates that they will nurture you to physical maturity, whereupon your gene print will allow you to re-enter this facility, obtain one of the focus devices stored below, and view this message.
All available data pointed toward that incredibly unlikely scenario, did it? Couldn't you just left her outside the door with a holo recording of this? That's how the rest of the plot was told.
While high-level directives forbid me from communicating directly to the tribal inhabitants outside the facility.
While high-level directives forbid me from communicating directly to the tribal inhabitants outside the facility.
Dude, she literally just told you why she couldn't do that. Pay attention, my guy.
But sometimes, to protect innocents, innocents have to die.
Emergency alert.
If you were planning to kill the Alphas anyway, why tell them about deleting Apollo right before you do that? It's not like they had to know why they were dying.
Hey man, the rich and powerful big bads love to monologue.
Apparently all technology in the future applies the same design principle as modern gaming computers. Add tons of LEDs to make it look all cool and powerful.
You patting the sink out, bro?
I found Hades. The first thing it wanted to know about was the Spire. Not Meridian. The Spire. Now why would that be?
The Spire was created by Gaia.
Which part of Gaia?
Minerva. It's code-breaking module. Gaia built spires to transmit the codes that deactivated the Pharaoh robots, shut down their biomatter conversion systems. Hades wants to send a new transmission to wake the machines so they can devour the world all over again.
The finale of Horizon Zero Dawn is about stopping an artificial intelligence that's using an army of zealots convinced that it's a god from invading a city that hosts a signal beacon that can wake up millions of robots that will sweep the planet clean of all life. No wait, sorry. I was describing the finale of Mass Effect. The finale of Horizon Zero Dawn is about stopping an artificial intelligence that's using an army of zealots convinced that it's a god from invading a city that hosts a signal beacon that can wake up millions of robots that will sweep the planet clean of all life.
This game is similar to that game. Here is a sin.
Somehow Hellas is already inside the Sun Palace, even though this place has been preparing for war all night. You would think that after Duvall snuck in the same way, they would have tightened security.
What about this scene tells you that he snuck in the same way? And also, just because you tighten security doesn't mean you still can't get infiltrated. Just look at the Capitol build. Oh, never mind.
I'm afraid radio waves are invisible to the human eye, game.
It's for the benefit of the audience.
Is that really how the Spire works? It sends out a few whatever those are at a time to wake up Pharaoh robots? If that's the case, it's going to take a long time to wake up enough robots to eat the planet's biosphere again.
Well, yeah, and does it matter if it takes a long time? What the heck is this sin?
Deathbringers are so easy to beat that in order to make this one a challenge, they throw in some other robots halfway through the fight.
Take it off normal.
To activate state name and rank.
Elizabeth Sobek.
Wait, so that's how the Master Override is designed to work? By stabbing it into something, electrocuting the user, and then requiring voice activation inside the user's mind?
Well, yeah. No, I am not accepting this sin, bruh. Nothing you said this video has made any sense. So no, you don't get to sin this finale just because it may seem a little out of the ordinary.
Not only did Elizabeth Sobek's body remain here at her family's home for over 1,000 years, she kept a keepsake in her hand the entire time.
More pointless words to make up pointless sins to pad the pointless sim count.
Somehow Hades is still alive, even after being purged by the Master Override, which was supposed to destroy him. If he's still alive right here next to the Spire and no one knows, why doesn't he activate it again instead of flying off?
Maybe because Hades is too weak? Just a thought.
Hello, old friend. Remember me?
Sequel baiting. I mean, come on. You knew Lance Reddick was going to be a bad guy.
Yep, and I cannot wait for the sequel so I can send you even harder. Pause.
I'll try anyway.
All praise Aloy, anointed of the Nora. All praise Aloy, anointed of the Nora. Up. All praise Aloy, anointed of the Nora.
First you shun me, now this? I will not be worshipped. I'm not your anointed. I don't belong to you. There's a whole world beyond your borders, whole tribes of people just as good as you. and it is all in danger. It's a world worth fighting for. Not just here, everywhere.
How can we help?